Recently, I made a complete refresh to a computer that I was using for the past 2 years. So with that in mind, I went out and bought a 144 hertz, pretty inexpensive monitor, and so far it's done me pretty well. So I figured, why not compile a little bit of a list for those of you who are in search of a new monitor, definitely a new display, something you could benefit from. A lot of these options I'm going to mention are a little bit different for different consumers. So some have adjustable height, some are IPS displays, some are maybe a little bit out of stock, but if you're lucky you can find a good price when they're available. So this is a list of some of the best 144 hertz monitors you can buy on Amazon for around 200 bucks. So I want to start with honorable mentions. Basically what makes a monitor an honorable mention in this list is specifically things that the monitor does well, but it is outshined by other competitors. Some factors are a TN panel or no height adjustability. Maybe they're really hard to find sometimes because they're always going out of stock. So just things like that could be a deal breaker for some people. I threw into an honorable mention list, and one of those monitors is the AOC C24G1. 144 hertz true display. A couple months ago I found it around 170 bucks. Right now it is way above $200, so way above MSRP. I wouldn't really recommend it at this price point, but I thought it was a really good honorable mention because of the height adjustability. It is a curved panel and has FreeSync, so you can't really go wrong with the options that you have with the 1 millisecond response time to the VESA compatibility. You can't really go wrong, but then again, the thing that outshines it is the availability. So if you're lucky, you can find this for around 170 something dollars. If it's at that price, definitely pick it up. It's a pretty good deal. I will say, if you're going anything above the $200 territory, you might want to look at some of the better options on the list. All right, this list is in no order, but next up is the Asus VP249QGR. It's known for actually being the cheapest 144 hertz monitor out on Amazon. I would say you get what you pay. I mean, you don't really get height adjustability and all the fancy features that a really good monitor would give you. What you do get, however, is an IPS display, and that's definitely a pro. I would put that at one of the more important things to look for in a monitor, since more budget monitors are coming out with, you know, the IPS panels instead of the TN panels. And if you care anything about the quality of the display that you're looking at, I would say definitely look into that. Take it from me, it makes a difference when you have a TN panel and IPS panel. Like most monitors on this list, you get a 1 millisecond response time and FreeSync capabilities, and you even have VESA compatibility. So if you really don't want to deal with the whole stand that most budget monitors give you, you can always just use a wall mount and that'll solve most of your issues. Obviously, you will be paying more money if you don't already have one. Like most monitors on this list, you will be using a display port, and most will come with a display port. However, you also have options for an HDMI. Now, these are high refresh rate monitors, so I would recommend using a display port for the best experience. Otherwise, you might end up only getting 120 hertz for if you're using an HDMI cable. So lastly, on the list of honorable mentions, I want to include the Pixio PX247. It's actually the monitor I'm using right now. Now, why am I using this monitor, but I'm placing it in an honorable mentions list? Well, the main reason for that is simply because it's not even close to what I originally paid for this monitor. I paid around 170 bucks, not including taxes, for this monitor, and it's a true IPS display with 144 hertz, 1 millisecond response time, AMD FreeSync, no height adjustability, but it has a VESA wall mount compatibility. So really, you're getting some of the best features on one of the cheapest options in a monitor. So if you haven't noticed already, the common trend in all the monitors of this honorable mentions list so far is basically, if you don't see it for the right price, it's not really worth it. They're overall pretty great monitors for the right price. So definitely consider that when you're out looking for these and evaluating which one you should get. If we're considering which one is the best for the value, I'd probably have to tell you it's the Pixio PX247, simply because at the right price, at $180 to $70, you're getting all of the premium features in a pretty budget monitor. If you really care about height or adjustability, you can pretty much just use a wall mount and your problem is solved. And you still have all of your great features like your FreeSync and G-Sync compatibility and your 1 millisecond response time. Well, with that said, I know some of you probably don't even care for an honorable mentions list, and you just really want to find the best monitor that with most features and that'll serve you best for around $200. And if you're one of those people, I'd have to point you to the LG 24GL 650. The name definitely doesn't get easier, but the features are pretty hard to match at $199. This monitor has a true 144 Hz refresh rate, obviously, a 24-inch screen with FreeSync and a millisecond response time, and one of my favorite features that this actually does include, unlike most monitors, is the stand. It's quite a premium build. It's got height adjustability, all that you'd want in the rest of the monitors that I mentioned, but with an actual premium stand that'll give you more flexibility. Now, the reason this list isn't in order is simply because of how broad these monitors are. And for those who are going to buy this monitor, they're not going to be the same person. Now, some of them have features that others don't. Some of them are truly better than others. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this list. I appreciate you for sticking around. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for the next video, you can leave a comment down below, or you can always reach out to me on Twitter. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.